Hey guys! Today in this video, my goal is to teach all of you how to properly tune the French horn. Before we even start tuning the horn, here are 3 tips on how to be ready so that you can properly tune the instrument. First, you need to make sure that you warm up. It'll warm up your instrument, warm up your face, and take a more accurate reading, if you will, of how your horn is in tune or isn't in tune. If you just play cold, it's going to tune it improperly and not how you're accustomed to playing. And then when you actually start to play literature or play in pieces, it's going to be out of whack and then you'll have to tune all over again. And we don't want that. Secondly, you need to make sure that your slides are greased for easy tuning. If you don't grease any of your slides, they're going to be really hard to move in and out. And there are 11 slides on this instrument that we're going to have to tune and move and shift. So you really want to make sure that your slides are greased so that you can move them very easily. Finally, empty all of the water out of your horn before you begin to tune. You're going to be shifting your horn around a lot, possibly turning it over, looking at different angles. So it's really important that if you don't want water to be poured all over yourself, you empty it all out beforehand. Now we can start to actually tune the French horn. Much like there were 3 main tips on doing things before you start tuning, there are 4 steps to actually tuning the French horn. The first is pretty easy. Make sure that all of your slides are pushed in. No slides should be left open or out, because to get an accurate reading, we want to start from the very beginning, just like the factory had sent you the horn. When the factory sends you the horn, all the slides are pushed in. Step 2, have your tuner handy and start by tuning the B-flat side of the horn. To access the B-flat side, just push the trigger down and hold it. Play a concert F and pull out accordingly. The note should be flat because all of your slides are pushed in at this point if you followed step 1. Now that my concert F is in tune on my B-flat side of the horn, it's time to move to the F side of the horn. It's worth noting that the French horn has 2 main tuning slides. The one on the top is the one I adjusted for the B-flat side of the horn and is the main tuning slide, which also affects the F side of the horn. To tune only the F side of the horn, you use the bottom tuning slide. We'll be using this when we tune our concert F on the F side, but if we go back and make minor adjustments, we'll probably be using the main tuning slide to affect the horn as a whole. Now that the open side of the horn is tuned both in B-flat and in F, it's time to start messing with the valves and slides and fine-tuning the instrument. You'll start in the same way that you did when we tuned the open horn. Press the B-flat trigger down and start playing notes that correspond to the slides. Adjust the slides accordingly. If it's sharp, pull out, and if you pull out too far, you'll be flat and then you'll have to push in. Once you've tuned your B-flat slides, it's time to move on to your F sides. Release the trigger and do the same thing, adjusting the slides accordingly as you've done before. Now that we're done tuning the horn, there are 3 last tips to follow in order to make sure that your horn stays in tune. If you're tuning a horn for a younger student, it's perfectly okay to mark on the horn with a pencil where your slides have been pulled out to. This will help a student stay more consistent and stay in tune and save you, the band director or the horn teacher, a little more time. Secondly, remember that tuning will change. Whether how a face is feeling a certain day, how a player is developing, are all things that can affect tuning. You will have to adjust accordingly and retune often. Finally, don't freak out if after you've pulled out all of your slides and they're in the right position, you're still not totally in tune. The horn is a tricky instrument and also involves tuning with the hand. Though this video doesn't cover the scope of that, it is important to ask your private lessons teacher how to appropriately place your hand or alter your embouchure if that's the issue as well. I hope this video has brought you some peace of mind for the next time that you're faced with tackling tuning of a French horn.